Oh, yeah. I am the revolutionary. I am the visionary. I am Ralph Williams. And ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ralph Williams. I am the host of the Ralph's Opinion Show, and we're here every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. for your viewing pleasure. We are here, and we have a lot to talk about tonight, including Carnival Cruise Lines. Wait till you hear this story. The Iran war. Wait till you hear where this is going. Marco Rubio had to go in front of a congressional hearing. Just a lot of stuff going on, and we're going to talk about it right here on Ralph's Opinion Show tonight, right here. And acknowledge me. That's right, acknowledge me. That I'm the man here on Wednesday night, 7:30 p.m. for the Ralph's Opinion Show. All right. All right, let's get started here tonight. Carnival Cruise Lines. Let's talk about them for a minute. You know, going on a cruise anymore is a mess. And what I mean by a mess is the fact that there was a virus on that one ship, a few years back. And I've said this many times that I would never, ever go on a cruise. The ship got stuck in the middle of the ocean somewhere, and the whole crew didn't speak English. The whole crew, all right, didn't speak English, all right. And what happened was, with the crew not speaking English, nobody knew what to do. So the whole boat got stuck out there, and they had to wait for rescue teams for days and weeks. In fact, I believe it was, to come out and get everybody. All right. And people were terrified, which I don't blame some people for that. I mean, whether or not they were going to get rescued. And when that happened, and then when the other thing happened where they had to evacuate the boat because of some numbskull or somebody did something, that was another issue. Now you got viruses, and Carnival Cruise Lines right now has an issue with somebody hacking their system. They hacked the system. Okay? They hacked it. And what happened was, now your information, your credit card stuff that you put in there when you booked the Carnival cruise is now in the hands of a hacker. Okay? And now people are really upset, and I don't blame them for being angry. I would be too. All right? I'd be very angry. I'd be very upset. Okay? About the fact that my stuff got compromised. I've had letters sent to me or emails or whatever that my stuff was compromised a few times. Not once, but a few. So, I mean, and that's what happens when you, okay? That's exactly what happens when you go on a cruise. And, there are people, you can go on a cruise, and a cruise is not a bad deal. It's a cheap, some of them are cheap things. How you doing, Pensman? Thank you. Please don't forget to tune into Pensman Sports. He did a short today in regards to the Malachi Lemon thing with the Eagles today. As you know, which if you tune into Pensman's short, he will tell you about what's going on with Malachi Lemon and the Philadelphia Eagles. All right. And don't forget to like and subscribe to all of our all of our material here, including Pensman Sports right here. Okay. And also, don't forget, tune into a Shorts Brian Pettit and the Sports Break Media. And don't forget, this Saturday, we're on at 10 a.m. But guess what? The Saturday Sports Show is no more. It's called the Sports Blast Show. Here it is. If I can get it, there it goes. The Saturday Sports Blast. And we're going to blast our way through the sports topics, and we have a lot to talk about as well every single Saturday for that, too. And we have some other announcements coming up later on in the show. We got to have the good, the bad, and the ugly of President Trump. That's coming up. Okay? And I'm telling you right now, we got the good, the bad, and the ugly, and wait till you hear some of the stories we got here. Okay? All right, the House today, and this is bad for Trump. And if you want to right now, we can get into the good, the bad, and the ugly. Because right now, President Trump, this is ugly right here. The House has come up with votes for a measure that would end the Iran war. This is a big blow. If this happens, this is a huge blow to President Trump. Because this war, I was for this war. I wanted this war. And I wanted it to happen. All right? And I really did. I really wanted this war. Because I wanted us to take out Iran. Or I wanted Iran's people to step up and do something. And they've done nothing. They've done nothing. Okay? All right? So, and some of our allies have done nothing. Okay? Not a thing. They haven't helped us out. Kuwait's been very loyal to us. And some of the other ones, I mean, they get fired upon, but they're still our loyalists. Okay? And everything else. Okay? I'm trying to see what that, okay, there we go. All right. Thank you, Pensman. Okay. So, what do you think? What right now, the Iran war, should we end it? Do we need to end it? Gas prices are high. Everybody's screaming and hollering. What did I tell you months ago? Especially federal workers. I said, put your money away. Start putting money away like you put nuts with a squirrel. You know how a squirrel puts nuts away. A bear puts fish away when they hibernate. Why can't we think like animals and do things like that? Why do we always have to have a situation where we're crying that we're broke? Gas prices are sky high. So you know what I did today? I'll tell you what I did. Tomorrow, I'm picking up my new van. And you want to know what happened to my van? I got sick and tired of the sensors going off and a short in my electrical system and all this other stuff. So you know what I did? I went out and I bought me a Toyota. I have a Toyota van now with 40 miles to the gallon. It's a hybrid. I did something about that. Okay? I did something about that. All right? We do need to end the war, Pensman. I do agree. I wanted us in this war. I have egg on my face because I thought that once we got into this war, we were going to take between Israel and the United States, we were going to take out Iran. But we didn't. We didn't do anything. We haven't done anything. It's been a slow process right now. And I got to give it to Iran. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm going to send the alarm out tonight. I have to give it to Iran. Because they hung in there, they didn't quit. They didn't say, "Well, we're going to put we're going to put fold our tent. We're done." No, they have not. They haven't even surrendered. And you know what the current president of Iran, I think it's Khomeini's son or whatever. I think he had 10 kids or something. I don't know, like the rest of them. You know what I mean? But anyway, All right. Yeah, it's going to be no one expected it to be this long, Pensman, and you are correct. I thought that this was going to be over right away, but I got to give it to Iran. They said this could turn into a Vietnam if it continues. There's certain things that are wanted in this peace plan. President Trump wants to be able for everyone to go back into the Hour of Hormuz Iran wants us out of the Hour Hormuz. Okay. Iran wants this, that, and whatever. Okay. All right. We want to take their uranium so they can't make nuclear weapons, which was caused by Barack Obama giving back $85 million in Hong Kong gold. Okay. Joe Biden and some of the other, President Clinton and some of the other ones just saying, okay, Iran, yeah. Okay. But let me get back to this a little bit here with these gas prices. Everybody's squawking and crying, complaining, moaning and groaning, stealing, going to gas pumps and stealing. Okay. All right. I want you to check out a song by Leonard Skinner. It's called This Ain't My America. You know why? Because this ain't my America. I've never seen so many people whine and complain. I've never seen anybody. I've never seen people not work. I've never seen people, go on and on about, this, that, and whatever. Food prices are up. I get that. Well, why don't you vote out these politicians that are causing this problem? You don't vote out the progressives. You don't care about what you do, okay, and what goes on in your life with this. You don't even get involved in politics. Oh, well, that guy's a thief. Well, get him out then if he's a thief. Vote him out, okay? Run against him. Vote him out if he's a thief, okay? All right? Make him step down. All right? All the progressives, you got all this power. All right, today in D.C., the Reuters News is reporting that the Republican-led U.S. House of Representatives, and this is the Republicans now, this is President Trump's own party, okay? So we can sort of get started here with the good, the bad, and the ugly of President Trump here, because this don't look good, okay? The U.S. House of Representatives have approved a resolution today. This happened today to block President Trump from continuing the war against Iran, reflecting growing concern among members of his party about the 3-month-old conflict. The House voted 215 to 208. 4 Republicans voted with Democrats in favor of War Powers resolution. It was the latest setback for President Trump in Congress, despite the party's slim majorities, okay? Then it says in both the House and the Senate, and this is from Reuters now, all right? And it says the vote is largely symbolic. Any resolution would also have to pass the Senate to become effective, all right? Then it says, and garner the 2/3 majorities of both chambers to overcome and almost certain Trump or President Trump veto. So he can veto this resolution, and he probably will because he wants to continue this war. All right. Okay. Stocks on oil are going up and down. All right. All right. Okay. Here, Georgia Republicans, and this is from the Politico newspaper. It says Georgia Republicans want President Trump's endorsement before it's too late. Yeah, Georgia is a Democratic state, and they need all the help they can get, the Republicans. But the question is, are they going to be able to win these races? Because right now, President Trump's popularity is not real good. Some of the guys that he's endorsed have not been reelected or elected at all, but some have. Okay, so All right, it says with the early voting in Georgia's Republican Senate runoff less than 2 weeks away, some Republicans are warning that the timeline for President Trump to tip the scale in the race is closing. Okay, now this is from Politico. All right. All right, this is, let's get into some other stuff here. All right. All right, here we go. Here's stupid never takes a vacation. This is, I get on teachers, and you know why? Because of this. But this is a substitute teacher. All right. Arrested for allegedly inappropriate conduct with students. Had to sound the alarm tonight, folks. Have to sound the alarm. Inappropriate misconduct. And this is why public schools are struggling. And I've said this on my Ralph Williams radio show, that this is why public schools are struggling. This is why. This is why people don't put their kids in school, because school's not safe anymore. All right? People don't go to church because church isn't safe anymore. People don't even have homes that are safe. The three things in a kid's life or anyone's life that's supposed to be safe is not safe. Yeah, guys. There you go. I like that. Yeah, Pensman says guys, like Mike Tomlin does, guys. You know, speaking of that, I don't talk sports here, but I'm interested to see what Mike Tomlin's going to be like on TV. That to me is going to be an interesting scenario because he lied. Said he'll never be on TV. He lied. He lied to my friend's face. He lied. All right. This substitute teacher was in Connecticut. He was arrested for alleged inappropriate conduct. Stupid never takes a vacation. All right. I'm not, I'm not going to give his name on here, but, all right. It's here. Let me see what else we got going on here. Deadly virus found in luggage at a U.S. airport. Now what? Now what kind of virus? This is the Daily Beast reporting. It says a pair of NIH researchers have been charged after allegedly trying to smuggle a deadly virus into the American airport. Hey, you know what? This one guy's last name is Munster. I wonder if he's related to Herman Munster. All right. Discovered at Detroit's Metro Airport. Their stupid never takes a vacation right there. I just came up with two tonight. Two stupid never takes a vacation. We do that segment here. I do that on my Ralph Williams show, or radio shows. Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, and the Delmarva region, the Ralph Williams show. Also, don't forget Sports Corner radio shows, too, as well. All right. Coming up Friday, 3 o'clock, 3 to 4 p.m., 620 KHB. Sports Corner radio show with me, Ralph Williams, Smoke and Jim Frazier, Claudia Rosano, and Luther Dupree. Okay. All right. Here. Chicago high school student in Chicago kicked out of graduation after doing split on the stage. I don't know if that stupid never takes a vacation or if that's considered a travesty. All right. Lakewood, California, it says. Graduates during the commencement ceremony at St. Joseph's High School in Lakewood, California, 190 students earned a diploma from the all-girl. This happened in 2010, and they're just now. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, here we go. All right. However, the faculty at Chicago Tech Academy said that an 18-year-old who was attended was reported by the New York Post that this person was removed from the ceremony after she dropped a split and she crossed the stage. Wow. Whoa. Is that crazy or what? Oh, my. Wow. That is something there. Now, I don't know if that's shame on the school for doing that, but shame on her for what happened as well. So, there's a shame on you to go around for that there. There really is. There's a lot to go around for that here. Now, let's take a look at this here now. South Carolina police officer arrested. Here we go. For allegedly pointing gun at a colleague. Makes cops look bad. Say that all the time, All right. Meet the new, let's see here. Wake County got 4 new, Wake County is in North Carolina, down there by Raleigh. They got 4 new principals in their school system. All right, here, school district here. Here we go. This is why we have illiteracy out here, and we have a bad literacy problem in this country. All right. But I can't blame the teacher for this, because the school district here forces a teacher to pass a senior student who has missed 49 out of 83 days and earned zeros on most quizzes. Zeros on most quizzes. Why should he get to graduate when he never came to class? You ever watch the movie? You got to watch the movie. It's from 1984. It's called Teachers. Watch that movie one time. Everybody that came through the system, they were forced by the school district to pass every kid, regardless if he came to class, regardless if he had bad grades, regardless of whatever. This is a prime example of that. All right. And, we have in Western Pennsylvania and around Maryland here, and we're in Studio 10 here in Berlin, Maryland. Okay. We have, school districts who have, there's really not a literacy problem here, but in Western Pennsylvania, there's some school districts that have issues with reading and whatnot. And some questions have arose lately as to whether or not they're just passing these kids and letting them go through. Because nobody, the school district, which it seems like our country's weak now. Nobody has any cojones. Nobody has any guts. Nobody has a backbone. Nobody wants to do anything about anything. I don't want to deal with parents. I don't want to deal with them coming in here causing problems and shooting people and coming in here and giving me a hard time. The parents come in, I take the cell phone, the parents come in here and they get mad at me. All right. That comes with the job. You got to deal with parents if you're a teacher, if you're an administrator, if you're anybody that works in a school. You got to deal with parents. Parents are parents. And they're going to be what they are. They're going to express their opinion. They're going to come in, they're going to scream and holler because you picked on their kid. I get yelled at for picking on people still in Pittsburgh about Ed Gainey. I still get picked on about picking on Barb Warwick, who's a city councilwoman, former Mayor Ed Gainey. I'm still getting emails about how I picked on so-and-so. I don't pick on people. I just tell it like it is, and I haul you to the carpet when I know you're not doing wrong. And when you lie to me, that's when I have a problem. Okay? I have lost all my respect for Mike Tomlin. I mean, I didn't like Mike Tomlin, but I respected Mike Tomlin. He lied to everybody. He told media professionals up in Pittsburgh, really good, guys that have been around for 40 years, that he was never going to go do TV. And what's he do? He goes and does TV. Darius Rucker, you know who he is? The lead singer for Hootie and the Blowfish. Oh, Hootie will never get back together. Well, guess who's singing right now? Hootie and the Blowfish. Oh, I'll never go back to country music because country put me out in the cold. Guess who was singing in Nashville last year for the Nashville New Year's Eve thing? Darius Rucker. Okay? So, lies. People lie like that. And you know what's funny about this whole thing? You pay to go see these people. They lied. I would never go to a show and pay for anything. You go see Darius Rucker after what he pulled. All right? Do you accept that? You see, that's another thing. Our country accepts this stuff. We accept this. All right? We accept the whole thing. And that's sad. That really is sad that we accept that. All right? All right. The good, the bad, and the ugly of President Trump. And right now, the bad is today's resolution. But President Trump is going to veto that whole thing. I would think so. At least, I hope so. That he would or is going to, veto it. Because he needs the war powers in order to continue the war in Iran. And we, okay. Our country was bad from the beginning. When he took over as president this second time around, President Trump, the economy wasn't all that great anyway. Joe Biden, okay, had done some, major things that made our economy where it is. All right. The only one thing I do say about President Trump, we haven't had to dig into our reserves of our gas yet. And President Biden got into so much of that I don't think if we were to get hit tomorrow, I don't think we'd have enough fuel. I just don't. Because he depleted it so bad. All right. All right. The Sun, this is from the U.S. Sun paper. New SNAP rules changes go into effect, but thousands could now lose benefits. Now that the 3-month grace period has ended, new supplemental nutrition assistance program SNAP work requirements are in effect as of Monday, as of June 1. And that's not good because that's in that beautiful big bill. President Trump, it may not be good for some, but good for others. You can keep your benefits. He's trying to get people to go out and work. President Clinton did this, something similar. He said, and he made comments, I don't want people living on welfare. And he made, restrictions, or he made, certain policies involving welfare and SNAP benefits and whatnot. Yeah, he didn't make it hard, but he wanted you to go out and work, and you did. And you did. But for President Trump right now, you don't want to work. You didn't want to work for Joe Biden. Okay. Now you don't want to work for President Trump. And the money's gone, folks. It's gone. And now, if you're not lazy, you have to go out and work for your benefits. I don't have SNAP benefits. Okay. If I did, and they asked me to go to some church and volunteer, I would do it. Because I was told you're allowed to do some kind of community service work. You got to put in, 80 hours or 8 hours a month or something like that. Okay. I know it's not pleasant. I know that. I get that. But again, you have to understand something. President Trump's trying to get everybody back to work, trying to get Social Security built back up so that in the future, folks like myself who are going to be getting into our 60s in the next couple of years are going to need that Social Security. And there's a few, your grandma, your aunt, your somebody who needs those benefits. Your uncle, your grandfather, maybe your parents. And don't even say anything to me about how who lost the Social Security. Blame the lazy people of this country. Blame them. Not getting up and working, paying taxes like they should. Okay. I would rather be homeless than work. I've heard that already, which I find very, very, very appalling. Why in the world would you want to be homeless rather than and work and try to do something for yourself? Okay. Last week I talked about nomads. I talk about those folks all the time because I see a lot of videos with them. Those are the ones who live in cars. Again, I don't have a problem with that if that's what you want to do. But what bothers me is why in the world would you, and I get it, you don't want to pay rent to a landlord. I get that. Rent is high. I get that. Utilities are high. I get that. All right. But you know what? If it's comfortable for you and that's what you want to do with your life, good for you. And there's a lot of good conveniences in that. All right. Okay. Now that's not looking good for President Trump either. All right. Here the tag 24 is reported too. Here, President Donald Trump and his administration recently rolled out new stricter work requirements are expected to kick millions of people off Medicaid. It's not going to kick you off Medicaid. If you're in a wheelchair like I am, and you can get your doctor to write up something of special circumstances and say, hey, look, my patient cannot work. Okay? This doesn't apply to everybody. It applies to the lazy people who can work, who are abusing Medicare and Medicaid and food stamps. That's where it is. That's where it's at. And I don't see anybody going after those people. I don't see anybody going after them. All right? And you should be thanking President Trump. The reason I say you should be thanking him is because he got rid of waste. Waste in Social Security, waste in Medicaid, waste in Medicare, waste. Stuff that was, they had Social Security people from 2046, and that's not even here yet. Collecting checks. Busted. Stupid never takes a vacation. All right. All right. Good evening, Brian from the Sports Break Media. As I mentioned earlier, don't forget to tune into Brian's stuff. Here's this banner right here, Sports Break Media. All right. Okay. All right. Your game of abusing Medicare, abusing Medicaid, abusing food stamps has ended. Has ended. It doesn't look good for President Trump with this. I get that. And it might even be ugly. But it gets rid of waste, something that you don't understand. Okay? It started Monday, June 1st. 3 months after it was supposed to start at the beginning of the year, I believe, or sometime before that. Okay? And that's exactly why it is what it is. And it's in that big, beautiful bill. Because if you want Medicaid, you got to go out and work a few hours. Do some community service at a church. Go help a volunteer fire department clean toilets or whatever. Whatever you're going to do. All right? So help out in some way. Contribute. You know, I used to go to a couple of food banks back when I was broke. And you know what I used to do? I used to help out at those food banks because I appreciated what they did for me. Okay? I helped out at 3 different food banks in my time. 3. And I would do it again. And it has nothing to do with free food. It has nothing to do with anything. What it has to do is commitment or you know, giving back to who gave to you. And we don't do that in this country anymore. All right? You go to a church, you know, my former retired pastor, Pastor Paul Roberts, he did a sermon one time. Why do you come to church? Do you come to church to see Pastor Paul preach? Do you come to church for the music? Do you come to church for free food? Because there were people, and no offense to them, if you're watching tonight, and I know some of you probably are, only showed up for church for free food. Anytime we were having free food, they were there. They were there with takeout containers, taking food home. They were there. But you never seen these people for anything else. And then, here's the best one of them all. We had this one member who was at one of we used to have these Quinonea things. I think they still do them there. Okay. And I was packing bags for the homeless and handing them out to the homeless, grooming bags, soap, toothbrush, toothpaste, that kind of thing. Okay. And I was packing, in Ziploc bags and I went and I handed them out to the homeless. I did. Okay. Right out of my vehicle. So this woman would use the laundry facilities there, would do this, that, whatever there, come every time. She'd show up for free food, one of those types. We used to call them the free fooders. So she shows up that night for free food, and she walks in and she says to the lady in charge of this thing with the these little bags for the homeless, "Can I get one?" You know what that woman said? "Can you sit down and help?" She did a 360 and walked out. And I knew she was going to do that because that's what she does. All right. I gave to the church. I gave to my commitment to the church, to the Boy Scouts when I was in the Boy Scouts, to the Allegheny County Transit Council and the transit up in Pittsburgh. I gave to Pittsburgh. I did a lot. I'm an inspiration for handicapped people. Whether you know it or not, whether you respect it or not, I am. Okay? But the problem I have with this is you don't appreciate this. All right? And some of you media bosses out there don't appreciate it either. You would think somebody like me, you see here doing this, you would appreciate it, but you don't. But I want to thank the radio stations that let me broadcast my shows on. 620 KHB, 1250 AM The Answer, 860 AM WWDB, and 93.5 The Beach. For letting me broadcast all of RW Media Production radio shows. Don't forget to check my website at www.rwmediaproductions.com. All right, so what's good now? Let's take a look at anything that we think might be good for President Trump. And right now, there's not a lot of good going on. I mean, he found a replacement for Tulsi Gabbard. Okay. All right. How about these fast food restaurants? How about KFC, McDonald's, Burger King? You got Arby's. You got all these folks now bringing back these special meals. I know someone who said that him and his wife, they went to to one of those places, and they went to one of those fast food restaurants, and it turns out that wow, look at this one here. This was reported today. Whoa. Social Security Administration fires 7,100 staffers in a historic cuts, leaving cases stuck in purgatory. The Social Security Administration is from the New York Post now. New York Post don't play around. Prominent newspaper. The Social Security Administration has eliminated more than 7,100 jobs since last year, according to reports, the largest workforce reduction in the agency's history, which came as part of Trump's administration overhaul. The cuts, which reduced the agency's workforce by more than 13%, came alongside office consolidations, expanding use of artificial intelligence tools, and push to move more services online. Now, my question to you is, and I've had this question on my radio show, and I'm going to question you tonight here. What are your thoughts on AI? Do you think AI is going to be good? Or, as you can see, AI can be detrimental. All right. Yeah, KFC, Pensman, they have been changed their recipe since the Colonel died. They put the original recipe, they buried it with them. Yeah, they have. Yeah, they've changed it. They have changed. I haven't eaten one in a while. We have one down here, but you got to go 10 miles to get to it, and I don't go 10 miles to get to that. Sorry, I'm not doing that. All right. But anyway, let's take a look at some more of the good, the bad, and the ugly of President Trump. All right. All right. If I can get this going here. There we go. All right. Okay. Another bad thing, election losses all across the country now. President Trump's taking a hit on those, and he's causing some of these Republicans not to get reelected because a lot, but then again, you're going to go out and you're going to elect these progressives, and the progressives are going to cause problems. And here we go again, right back to where we started. For some strange reason, you don't seem to understand that these progressives are running everything into the ground. All right. Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about Peabo Bryson. How about Peabo Bryson passing away? 75 years old, he had a stroke. Sad to hear about Peabo Bryson. All right. Great singer, did a lot of things, with different people. Clint Eastwood just turned 96 yesterday. His son Scott announced that he is no longer going to be acting or directing. He's done. He's going to, do whatever for the rest of his life. Okay. Okay. You're stupid never takes a vacation. Millions of seniors. Wait a minute, no, that's not it. Hold on. That's the whole same thing. Where's this one at here? Okay, parents say school didn't notify them of a teacher's child exploitation arrest. And this is from Us Magazine. Parents say school district didn't notify them of a teacher's child exploitation arrest. That stupid never takes a vacation. Of all things to do, and here we go again, the bad school districts doing bad things, and this is why schools don't have attendance. This is why people keep their kids at home and do homeschooling. This is why. This is why. All right? This is why. Okay? Suburbanites. Rent is so high that suburbanites now are taking in roommates. People are taking in roommates. I have a guy that comes here. He does some small work for me. He told me he would never, I didn't call him a liar because he had to do it. I get it. I did sort of say, well, you told me you'd never, ever take in a roommate again. Well, he did because he had to. His rent got jacked up and he doesn't, it's no guarantee he'll make money every week. Okay. All right. Oh, here we go. This don't look good either. President Trump trying to put his name on the Kennedy Center. But his name is still on there despite a court order because a judge ordered that President Trump had to take his name off of Kennedy Center. It was going to be called Trump Center. And he feels that he should be able to put his name on there because he put money into that building to make it safer. So something like what happened before doesn't happen again at another political dinner. All right. Other than Robert Kennedy, I don't think he likes the Kennedy family, period, because the Kennedys weren't there for Robert Kennedy. All right. All right. All right. Let's look into some few other things here. Okay. Now, here's something here that bothers me. Minnesota GOP governor, this is from the Mirror. Candidate refuses to rule out pardoning George Floyd killer Derek Chauvin. I'm going to say this once and once only, and if you're mad at me, I don't care. I'm with law enforcement on this one. George Floyd was a criminal. He had warrants for his arrest. He got pulled over. They told him to put his hands on his head and go up against a car. He refused. He fought. I've been through this with you before, and I'll go through it with you again. And I tell you every time, make sure that you listen to the commands of a police officer. But you have no respect for police. I get it. There are racist cops out there that go after blacks. I get that. I've seen it. I know it happens. But not every cop is like that. This was a situation where George Floyd decided to play the race card. And these police officers that pulled him over told him what to do, and he didn't do it. So they had to execute force. And I get it might have been a little bit much. I get that. But you have to understand, George Floyd was a criminal. And I can't understand why, and this is, again, this is why this ain't my America. Why are we continuing to worship criminals? Why are we continuing to pardon them? Why are we continuing to let them out on no bail? And it doesn't look good when people get pardoned that probably shouldn't be pardoned. Okay? All right? And you knew President Biden was going to pardon his son. You knew that. Okay? But this guy was a well-known criminal. And he was asked to put his hands on his head and pull out and go and lay up and lean up against the car. And he started mouthing off and doing this and calling the cops names, punching them in the head, spitting on them. Whatever it is that you do to police officers, that's disrespectful. Okay? All right? Oh, and I want to thank him, too. I know he's up in wherever. I want to thank him for making problems in this country now. I want to thank him for making it that every time you pull a black man over, someone's civil rights are violated. I want to thank him for these progressives and how they do things with criminals and stuff like that and juveniles and all that stuff. I want to thank him for that. Because of him, that stuff happened. All right? You got your victory. All right? All right. Not a lot of good here right now for President Trump. It's not looking good at all. Okay? But this is unacceptable here. IRS workers, and I know a lot of people don't like the IRS, forced to sit on top of their desk due to a rat infestation. Oh, my. Whoa. It says here, this is from the dailymail.com, IRS employees in one metro office has been plagued with rat infestation so bad that employees have been sitting on their desks, and one even quit her job. I probably would too. Okay. I would as well. It's not looking good for President Trump right now. It really isn't. I'm sorry. It's not. Okay. It's not looking good because there's not anything good that I can see that President Trump has done this week other than, perhaps maybe talking to Israeli President Netanyahu, trying to get the peace deal going. That is some good there. But I always try to point out some kind of good. That was good. All right. This week. All right, we're going to wrap it up here. Let's get into some. We have some announcements here, as we always do here on the show. Don't forget. Let's see, coming up Friday. Let me see if I can. Oh wow, what happened now? Oh please, everything froze up on me again. Nah. Oh well. Friday, 6:20 KHB, the Sports Corner radio show, 3 to 4 p.m. every Friday. I can't play the video because my screen is froze. For what reasons, I don't know why, but it has. I mean, I can move my comments, but I can't move my media. So there we go. There it is. Can't move it. Yeah, well. All right. And then Saturday is the Ralph Williams Saturday. Starts at 7 a.m. 93.5 The Beach. See, I can't even get to that now. I can't even move any of this. I don't know what the heck has happened here. But anyway, there we go. Maybe I'm going to try to see if this will come back. Nope, not at all. Nothing whatsoever. Oh, well. All right. So I'll be on 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. on Delmarva's 93.5 The Beach FM, 50,000 watts power. I'll be on Ralph Williams Show. Tune in, lots to talk about. 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Saturday, the Ralph Williams Show on 1250 a.m. The Answer 92.5 on the FM dial up in Western Pennsylvania, and theanswerpgh.com, and also on Saturday, 10 a.m. is the new Saturday Sports Blast. And here I can put that up. That's about the only thing I can do. There we go. I don't know if for some reason this got all messed up. Our new Saturday Sports Blast show, 10 a.m. with me, Ralph Williams, Pensman Sports, Brian Pettit, and Leo Haggerty. All right. And that's at 10 a.m. every Saturday as well. And then to conclude the Ralph Williams Saturday, 2 to 3 p.m. Sports Corner Radio Show, 1250 a.m. The Answer, 92.5 on the FM dial, and theanswerpgh.com. Sunday morning, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., the Ralph Williams Show with Tony Moreno. We got a lot to talk about as well. And then Monday, and every Monday, 2 to 3 p.m. on 620 KHB, the Ralph Williams Show in Pittsburgh, 620 KHB. And then Wednesday, and I got some news for you today. I spoke to the program director at WWDB, and there's a possibility that starting July, the Ralph Williams Show will be going live every week. Okay. Well, thank you for that. All right. We're going to be possibly going live every week, so you have an opportunity to call in and talk to me. Okay. All right. But every fourth Wednesday of the month, and we're on in 860 a.m. WWDB in Philadelphia every Wednesday, 3 to 4 p.m. Lots to talk about every single week, including this coming Wednesday. Next Wednesday, I'm going to work on getting somebody on the show to talk about these cuts in the Philadelphia school district, just like Pittsburgh Public Schools, just like every other public school system in the nation. We're having issues, and I brought this up earlier. All kinds of ridiculous things, teachers doing stupid stuff. School board has no idea what's going on. Parents, it's bad out here with public school systems right now. Some of them are good, others are bad. And in Pennsylvania, they're about to pass laws that say that you can't have a cell phone in schools. All right. And if your state has that law, good for you, because kids need to start learning a little bit better. And they're not learning in this country because they're distracted by cell phones. All right. All right. This concludes Ralph's opinion tonight. I am the revolutionary. I am the visionary. I am Ralph Williams. This has been Ralph's opinion. We're here every Wednesday night, 7:30 p.m. Don't forget to tune in. Like and subscribe. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, X, and the Kick platform. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to Pensman Sports and Brian Pettit and the Sports Break Network. All right, don't forget to tune in to Brian. Pensman's I can't do because this part of my screen froze up for what reasons, I don't know. Happens every time. I had some big issues this morning with internet in my area. So, but anyway, don't forget to tune in to their shows. Like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Help me get 55 more people so I can get to 2,500. Help Pensman. Help Brian. Help us get to where we need to be. Help us out. I'm all over the place. I'm on Rumble, Getter, Blue Sky, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, X, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube Live. Check out my Ralph Reports, and then I started Monday, or actually I did a show, on Monday right after Raw, because Raw was in the afternoon, so I did a show right after Raw, or later on that night, Monday night. Pensman Sports and I did. Check that out. I'm going to be doing Raw post and SmackDown post and post pay-per-views now for WWE. Okay, Ralph Report Wrestling Edition. That'll be coming up. Stuff going on. All right. You never know when Ralph Report's coming. I'll be doing a Ralph Report tomorrow when I get my new van. All right. And if I'm anyone that's handicapped, real quick before I go, and I'm on a crusade to do this, do not, I repeat, do not buy Chrysler Pacificas. If you buy a Chrysler Pacifica, make sure it's be past 2020 or 21. 22 maybe. Today I had to take my van. It was an unexpected phone call I got from the dealer. They're taking my mechanical seat out and putting my mechanical seat into my new van. And it's on the driver's side. It backs up, it swivels so I can get in and drive. And we went there today, dropped the van off. It gave me another Chrysler Pacifica, but it was a better model. It was a 21 or 22. And I actually kind of like it. They gave it to us to use till tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to go get the van, do all the registration, insurance, all that other crapola that you got to do. All right. And what's going to happen is that we're going to get everything all switched up, traded up, whatever we have to do. We're getting it done tomorrow. And I'll have my Toyota Sienna van. Okay. And I'll be getting 40 miles to the gallon. And I won't have sensor problems. But Pacificas have sensor problems. And I had too many of them. And I had to pay thousands of dollars for them. I had to call CarShield. I had to go through all kinds of paperwork. I had to go through all kinds of hoops. In my life right now, with my schedule, my broadcasting and stuff like that, I don't have the time to go through all that stuff. So I made it easy for myself. I went out and got another van. Okay. And you as a handicapped person should try to go out and get a van. There is funding for vans. There's funding for power chairs. You gotta know where to look for them. Okay. There's all kinds of different ways that you can get funding for that kind of stuff if you're handicapped. All right. Don't let your handicap keep you at home. Go out, do things. All right. If you want to get a vehicle, go get one. Find one. If you can finance one, do it. All right. Don't let your handicap keep you home. You want to go out and do something, you can get in the van and go. That's what I can do. All right. So, that's what I'm doing. And I'll probably be doing a Ralph Report about it tomorrow. So tune into that. Thank you for watching Ralph's Opinion tonight. Until next week, by all means, please be safe. I can't put do any of the videos, the usual closing stuff, because my screen froze up right here, and I'm having major problems, as has been going on. But everyone, have yourself a great night, and please be safe. Thank you.